One of the things we get asked about all the time at Bunker 8 Digital Labs is how to create one of these types of backgrounds. Backgrounds for a while were poo-pooed on the web because obviously people went a little bit nuts with them and they used colors and shades or whatever else like that. But one of the things to do right now that's very, very good about using backgrounds is that actually controlling the background within CSS. So you can see here on our new site, we've given this sort of a little bit of a distorted length texture. And in one of our other tutorials, I'm going to show you how this was created and what tools we use to create it. But you notice how the tone itself, regardless of the size of the screen, whatever you shrink it to, notice how the tone carries through and the site is always auto-centered. So it gives the page a little bit of depth and a little bit of an anchor. So let's have a look at the CSS code that governed this creation. If you look down here under the body tag, and that is the body object that's throughout all of the pages that reference this particular CSS document, bunker8.css, you'll notice that there are three particular lines that you have to pay attention to when attaching a background image to CSS. And that is, first thing is to locate where the image is itself. In this case, it's in the img directory from the root under blue texture _2.png. Now I've used a relative naming here, so it's .. / which typically means return to root, which is a good thing. You can also use a /root, which is an absolute reference. Now the secondary characteristic is background repeat. Okay? And that is that this background repeat is set for repeat. Now obviously you can have a few different characteristics. You can have it set for the following criteria: inherit, no repeat. Inherit means it inherits the property of whatever the previous CSS object was. No repeat means it just shows once. Repeat means it repeats both on the x-axis and the y-axis, and the repeat x and the repeat y characteristic mean that it either repeats going, of course, horizontally or it repeats vertically. Okay, so in this case, the background repeat function was set for repeat. Of course, using some sort of CSS editor, I'm using Dreamweaver in this case that does autocomplete, does help. And of course, the final characteristic of is the background attachment. And that is that it is either fixed in position, it either completes with a scroll, or it inherits the previous object above. In this case, we've made it fixed. And because our pages are of varying size, we thought this would be a good idea. So that's a very brief overview on some code markup for using a background image in CSS.